A warm welcome to all of you on the Bootstrap series. One second. So I hope um, 1 minute. One second. 1 second. Okay, so hello everybody. So today we are starting the Bootstrap series, and in this Bootstrap series we will be taking you through the basics of Bootstrap. Okay, Bootstrap Grid, classes, components, these all things what we are covering in this particular series. So here if you see 1 minute, so here if you see 1 second, right? So let me have the setup first, then we will discuss what is a Bootstrap, how to use it, how to add Bootstrap. 1 minute. Okay. Okay, so let us see something on Bootstrap. Yeah. Get Bootstrap 5. Okay. So here, this is the main official web page of Bootstrap, from where we will be taking reference, from where we will be learning how Bootstrap work, what is Bootstrap, what are the classes in Bootstrap, and each and everything what so far we will be learning, we will be taking the reference from here only. Okay, now one very important thing here which I just want to cover you, that we will be moving slowly and slowly, because Bootstrap is easy, but it is a little bit illogical kind of a thing. Okay, so in order to make you 1 minute, 1 minute. Okay, fine. So what is a Bootstrap? So Bootstrap is a front end framework. Okay, so Bootstrap is a front end framework, and it contains some, not entire, it contains some HTML, some CSS, and some JavaScript. Okay. So Bootstrap is a front-end framework which contains some part of HTML, some part of CSS, and some part of JavaScript, and all together it ends up in a Bootstrap kind of a thing. Okay. And it is being prepared to make the life of developer easy. Huh. Okay. So Bootstrap is basically some a little of HTML, little of CSS, and little JavaScript. Okay, and it is being prepared to make the life of developers easy. How to make the life of developers easy? Because we're using a small amount of classes, a small amount of component, a little of classes, it make the web page responsive. Okay, so Bootstrap is nothing but a open source framework. So it's a different basic definition here. 1 second. Now, after that, one more thing. Okay. Now, after that, there are so many front end frameworks. Okay, not irrespective of Bootstrap, there are so many front end frameworks, but the most popular front end framework. Okay, the most popular front end framework is Bootstrap, and you can find Bootstrap used in, I can say, in most of the websites you can see Bootstrap is implemented there. Okay. Now, one more thing, why Bootstrap is used. Okay, you can use HTML, you can use CSS, you can use JavaScript, but why, even if everything is here, why Bootstrap is used? Bootstrap is used in order to make the web page responsive. That's the main purpose of Bootstrap. Okay, Bootstrap से web page responsive हो जाती है बहुत easily. So that is the main purpose of Bootstrap. And one more thing. So let us have something about Bootstrap. So the Bootstrap original name is Twitter Blueprint. Okay. Why Twitter Blueprint? Because it is being developed by the Twitter engineers. So that is why, as earlier it was their in-house product, so they used Twitter and Blueprint and were developed by Twitter engineers only. Internally, for the internal purpose, they use it. But later on, as it becomes open source, and also it is a very good project. So nowadays, Twitter does not use at all, and it becomes a open source framework. So, okay. So that is why it is being used like this. So earlier it was a property of Twitter, and now Twitter, as it is a very good project, so Twitter make it free for all. And now these days, they are using something different, and it is being open for all the peoples. Now, what are the things in a Bootstrap, and what all we get in a Bootstrap? Okay, so Bootstrap is a combination of three things. Bootstrap contains of, in a nutshell, if you speak about Bootstrap, content of three things. Okay, so that three things are grid, classes, and components. Okay, so that three things are grid, classes, and components. So Bootstrap, in a nutshell, if we speak, Bootstrap is a combination of grid, classes, and components. Or if you say, grid is the most powerful thing. One second. Okay. So in a nutshell, if you speak, Bootstrap contains grid, classes, and components. But if you see in a or in a broad way, grid is the one part, and classes and components is in the second part. Okay. So you can say it contains only two parts, but people defined it in this way. Now, what is a grid? So grid system is used to make the web page responsive. The main function of grid is to make the web page responsive. Okay. What makes, or I can say, what Bootstrap makes the site responsive is entirely managed by the grid system internally. Okay. So the main purpose of grid is to make the web page responsive. But what Bootstrap is taking out of that is entirely managed by the grid, and it is also in an internal manner, not in an external way. You can see that how it is managing, but entire mechanism works internally by the help of grid system. Now, if you understand Bootstrap grid system, okay, you can make any web page responsive. So Bootstrap grid system is, I can say, a very powerful thing, a very important thing which you all need to know. Fine. So now, okay, one thing I just want to show you. 1 minute. One second. Okay, so you can see this grid system. Okay, 1 second. So you can see, oh, what is happening. So you can see this grid system. So you can see here, this is the grid system which actually internally manages the responsiveness of the website through Bootstrap. So here you can see the grid system. Okay, so here if you see here, there are columns internally. So you have two columns, two columns, two columns, two columns, two columns. Internally, there are around 12. There are 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 12 columns. So you can see three columns, 4, 5, and this way. So here, if you see, 1 minute. Okay. So okay. So grid system is used to make the web page responsive, and grid system internally manages everything within the Bootstrap. Now, if you understand Bootstrap very well, you can easily manage, you can maintain any, you can make any web page responsive. Now if you want to manage, okay, okay, fine. So now what is happening here? Now, what are classes? So classes, so if you the main um, if you are creating any image or any image tag or any anchor tag or any h1 tag, so what you do, you put any classes, and in css what you write those classes and you put styles in that classes. Now what bootstrap do, bootstrap keep a record of all such classes. Okay, and they have created their library. So classes are used to style any element. Okay, so classes are used to style any element in HTML. So what Bootstrap used the most frequently used classes. Okay, so suppose if you are in image, you put a class. You are in a header, you put a class. You are in a anchor tag, you sometimes put a class. If you are in a UL, you sometimes put it. So what Bootstrap did, in most of the frequent cases where we are putting classes, Bootstrap take all those classes, the most frequently used classes, and make a library kind of a thing. Okay, and we need to use just that class name only to make the web page responsive. Okay, so suppose 1 minute. Oh, this is a VS Code, and so here this is one of my previous class. So here you can see a class categories. So if I use this class as a parent class for some styling of things, so what Bootstrap did, they have added this particular class in their library. So what, next time when I'm using a Bootstrap, I just want to give that class here, and nothing I have to give here. So that if you see here, from these dot categories, all this, I don't have to give anything here. Okay, and my web page will get responsive. So that is the beauty of Bootstrap. So Bootstrap in classes, they have prepared the most frequently used class name, and they internally make a library of all that. Okay, so we need to just use the class name, and your entire web page gets responsive. And only one more thing, if we are using the class name, we did not have to give anything in the CSS, just the class name, and thing will be done. Okay, so that is the power of Bootstrap. Now, there are so many Bootstrap libraries, not the one, there are so many Bootstrap libraries, so that in development we can save time. Okay, so as I've told you in the earlier, the main purpose of Bootstrap is to make the life of developers easy. Okay, why easy? Because they have all the things in an automatic manner, but simply we need to keep the logic and put the classes like that. Now, one more thing, there, as I've told you, there are so many Bootstrap libraries. Okay, and the main purpose of all those is to save the time and to make the life of developers easy. Now, the next is the grid classes and components. So here, let us see here components, COMPONE, and here you can see the component thing. So here, okay. So what is the component? So in the component, the most commonly used component is the button. So here you can see here in this thing. Okay, so Bootstrap have created some components of HTML and CSS. Okay, for example, buttons they have created. So what we need to do, simple, very simple. Just copy this first thing, put it in the VS Code, and open with live server. You will get this kind of a button. Okay, you will get this kind of a button. So they have created some kind of buttons with colors also. So here, if you see, all the buttons have a border radius. Okay, they have different colors. They have different content. So what we need to do, simply we need to we need to add the class and the page will get responsive. And also component kind of a thing, we need to copy the component from here, put it in the VS Code, and our code will get ready. Now, after that, okay. So, what they do, they have created some kind of button and with colors and simple. We need to copy the HTML code and CSS already there, and that just copy the HTML code and you get a ready-made button. So that is what I'm telling. Simple copy paste, and your page will get ready. Above them, there are so many components also. So you can see the components except button. So button is the most commonly used component. So there are pagination, placeholder, popovers, scroll spy, spinners, forms, and many more. So there are so many components here. So now, what is the best place? What is the best place to learn the Bootstrap? So Bootstrap documentation, which is there in front of your screen, is the best place to take the reference. Okay, so even if you see what creators are putting each and everything in their documentation part, and we will be taking the reference from there only. Now, so even if you have learned complete Bootstrap, okay, so even if you have learned complete Bootstrap, you have to take the reference from here only, because it is not possible for you to actually learn the complete Bootstrap or remind the complete Bootstrap every time. So here you will be taking the reference, and that you will be taking the reference from this official documentation only. So the first thing is to understand what is Bootstrap, and then when you started working on it, you will copy paste, and that is called taking a reference of something. As I've told earlier also, when you are in a live project, so you will be copying the things from here, and that is called as a reference. Okay, so now refer the official web page of Bootstrap, and from here only we will be learning the things which I can say is very helpful for you also, because it covers the entire each and every small things in the Bootstrap also. Okay, so and also one more thing, you cannot get the best notes, okay, best reference on any platform except that. So here only, this particular web page, which is the official web page of Bootstrap, you will get each and everything here. Always refer the documentation which come with any language, which is the best source. So now, what will be the flow of Bootstrap? Okay, so the flow of Bootstrap will be like that. The flow will be either you use zero CSS. Zero CSS means uh, you use grid to make the page responsive, classes and components, and custom CSS. Custom CSS means custom design. So custom design will use only the grid system. Okay, now what is the difference between zero CSS and custom design? So zero CSS is something where you are not using any CSS, or you are using 10-15 lines of CSS, which either you can say it as a zero CSS, where you are using 10-15 lines of code and you are preparing the web page. So what happens in that scenario, You are a designer or you are a web developer. Someone came to you and told that please prepare that website. So what you do, you have the documentation Bootstrap. You have the Bootstrap documentation. So what you do, you have some buttons which and everything ready with which is ready with you. So just based on the classes and IDs combination, what is present in the Bootstrap documentation, you prepare a website for them. Now, in the second scenario, which is the custom design, here what you do, you need to take the help of only a grid system, rest you need to write CSS. So that is the basic difference between a zero CSS and a custom design. Now, that is the, I can say, theoretical part of Bootstrap. Now let us start the Bootstrap in a practical manner. So, how to start Bootstrap or how to include Bootstrap? Okay. So there are, hi Imran, hi Subhash, hi Kavi, nice to see you. Okay. So there are two ways in which you can include Bootstrap. Okay, there are two ways which has been officially given by the Bootstrap documentation. So let us see what are the two ways. So here, if you see, so getting started in the introduction part. Okay. So there are two ways in which you can include Bootstrap. Okay. So the first one is a CDN kind of a thing. CDN is nothing but content delivery network. So content delivery network, what is CDN? CDN is nothing but it is called as a content delivery network and it is a kind of a server. Okay. It is a kind of a server which comes from the CDN server and it loads very fast compared to normal servers. So it works very fast, load very fast, attached with website very fast, and also makes your website responsive very fast. So CDN is very fast compared to the second kind of method in which we can include Bootstrap. So the second one is simply download the Bootstrap files and attach it. Okay, but that what is happening, it loads in our server and most of the times our server works very slow. So that is why CDN pattern is being preferred a lot, okay, compared to the compared to the download method. So that is why CDN is basically server only. No. Here, if you see, these are the CDN links, okay, which we need to include or which we need to link in our HTML file. So here, if you see here, so see, create a new index.html file in your project, include the meta type as well as the proper responsive behavior. Okay, so here if you see this meta tag which you see is basically used to make your web page responsive. Okay, and one more thing which is I want to show you. Okay, so here there is a JS deliver. So JS deliver, what is the JS deliver? So JS deliver, okay, JS deliver is a free open source CDN provider which provides free CDN to Bootstrap also. Okay, so if you open this, you will find that it provides free CDN to open source software. Here I have told you Bootstrap is also an open source framework and it uses the CDN of JS Deliver. Okay, now, okay, now if you see here, first, okay. So first, let us see. First, we need to go to the official web page of Bootstrap, and here you can see here we have these two methods mentioned here. Okay. Now, what to do here? Simple. We need to connect this with our VS Code. So let us start how to do it. So we have created a new folder, and in this, oh, we have okay, we have a BS Bootstrap folder. Simple, what we do, we just drag and drop, and here let us see the both ways in which we will be adding the bootstrap.html. Now, the first method is the CDN method. So they are very smart. So what did they have simply told us that boss, just copy it and paste it. So your entire first thing will be ready. Wait, what we just paste it, saved it, and here let us open the folder. See, the hello world is there. And okay, let us check it in another way also. So where we were checking the components, yeah, bhai. In components, what we do, we have buttons. So let us copy all the buttons and we will see how it works. So where the VS Code here? 1 minute, 1 minute. So here, what we do, see, simple. Our VS Code has been included here. So we have buttons, what we see in the official documentation. Fine. So here you can see here what we did. Simple, we copied all the codes using this copy button and paste it in the VS Code. So all our buttons are ready, even with this link tag. Okay. So now what we do, 1 minute. And okay, here. So what is happening here? So here what we did, we simply uses the CDN server. Okay. So using the CDN server makes everything very fast. Okay. So it adds very fast, it works very fast, it attaches very fast, it makes responsive very fast, it loads very fast. So that is the beauty of CDN. CDN is nothing but content delivery network. Now, let us see the second way in which we will be downloading it and including it. So what we do, we have a download tab here. Just okay. So let me close it. We download it. It's getting downloaded. So this is a Bootstrap. Simple, open it. And here what we do. 1 second. So here we have this, and what I do, control a delete, enter, and here BOOTSTRAP Bootstrap, control S, and what I do here, I have downloaded this from the download link what they have given, and in this we have a okay. So in this CSS file we have bootstrap dot min dot css. So this is the file. Okay. So we will be including this file here. So what 1 second. So what we do, we have downloaded it. So here, so here we have given both the files cdn via js deliver. Okay, so we will use that also, but here you can see using the 1 second, we need to check one more thing before adding it. So skip the download. Okay, so what we do, we just copied it and here we paste it. Okay, so we have cdn.jsdelivered.net, and what we do, we write this code from the component. Where the component? Now we open this with live server. See, our buttons are here. We have included the Bootstrap with the second folder where we have downloaded it and attached it. Now, one very important thing which I just want to tell you in the download pattern. Okay, so here in this download pattern, we have some things here. So here we have CDS via JS Deliver. So as I told you, JS Deliver is a open source which provides free to open source framework. So as I told you, Bootstrap is an open source framework. So it uses the source of JSP. Now here you can see package managers. So this we will take after some time. What are those? Now, okay. Now after that, what we see. Okay, 1 second. Contents. Okay. One more very important thing. So here we have most of the CSS files which you have seen while downloading it. So here what we have, why we have included bootstrap.css, because it includes the layout, the content, the component, and the utilities. Okay, it includes all the things. Now here, what is the rest thing? So by now we have checked both the ways in which we can have the bootstrap functionality. Now here you can see this is the second thing is the bootstrap min.cs bootstrap RTL. RTL means right to left, where the people write from right to left pattern. They use what they use. They use this bootstrap.rtl.css. 1 minute. Let me share the attendance. 1 second. Okay. So day first attendance has been shared. Okay. So you all are requested to please fill it in order to get the participation certificate. We have 4 different certificates for all the days. So this is not for every day. So you need to fill different certificate, different attendance link, which we will be sharing in the live chat. So please fill it. Those who fill all the 4 days attendance sheet, will only get the participation certificate on their mail ID latest by Sunday evening. Okay. So going back to the topic. So here if you see, okay, here we are on bootstrap.rtl.css. So bootstrap.rtl means from right to left dot css, which has been used where the the method of writing is from right to left. We write left to right. They write right to left. In Saudi areas, they use this particular thing. Now, similarly, in JSS, we use bootstrap.bundle.js. So it includes the popper kind of a thing. What is popper? So let us see popper. Popper. So so popper is a kind of a thing which is used for tooltip and pop over positioning engine. Okay. Bootstrap uses that also. So it is used when we are preparing the tooltip, okay, and pop over positioning engine. So that is how it works like that. Now, after that, okay, going back to here. Okay. So here, um, okay. Now we see responsive web design. Okay. The main task of Bootstrap is to make web page responsive and the response. Now let us try to understand this. So earlier what we are using, there were different site for desktop mobile devices. So earlier, before 2015, yes, before 2015 there are web pages for desktop, okay, and mobile. So in the desktop, we have, for example, facebook.com, and for the mobile, we have m.facebook.com. So what developers do, developers create only two type of web pages. One is for mobile and the another one is for desktop. Now what happens? Till by here, everything is fine. Now what happens? Okay, and one more thing, they uses a common database. Okay, they uses a common database. Now what happened here? Now what happened after some time? What is happening here? Tablet have introduced, so they have prepared for tablet also. But tablet comes in a functionality where you can rotate it in both the direction. Okay, so you can see this thing here. So earlier there were desktop and laptop, okay, and later on it was tablet, but tablet works in both direction, and also they have the mobile devices. So now what is happening? The main problem is what they cannot design for every device a different web page. So that is why they have used Bootstrap. Okay, so if you see here, so if you see here, one second. So let us check out that second example. So here, when, so you include me, Arshad Alam. Arshad Alam, you need to fill attendance form. You need to include yourself. I didn't include anyone. So this is the attendance link I have given. Please fill it. Then only you will get included. Okay. So here, if you see in the mobile device, everything will be in a block pattern using the 100% width. In the tablet device, it looks like that. In a desktop device, it looks like that. And in, let us see the next example here, where we have this thing is like that. So that is the reason why the use of responsiveness becomes more and more. So that is why it is being used a lot. So when there were two devices, developers make two pages earlier using the common one, and the second one in the mobile devices they use m dot something something dot com. But after the evolution of tablets, and that too in a different pattern where they have the auto rotate functionality, and the mobile devices that too have different screen sizes. So from there the role of Bootstrap comes very important. Now all these things will be managed by Bootstrap through the grid system, which seems that different pages define different which seems that there are different pages designed for different devices. Okay, so what if someone is using a Samsung Z Fold Z model, so it has a wide screen. So if someone is using a Poco phone, or someone is using an iPhone, so what they think that this kind of web page is designed for me, but actually it is not. It is behind the behind that thing, grid system and Bootstrap works very smoothly and internally. Now, what is the Bootstrap grid system? Okay, so we will end here today only. From tomorrow, we will come to the main topic, which is a Bootstrap grid system. Okay. So I hope by here the everyone have filled up the attendance. So see you tomorrow. So basic introduction part we have completed today. And from tomorrow we will be coming up to the main topic, which is the Bootstrap grid system. And that grid system contains of breakpoint, container, row and column. Breakpoint is nothing but the screen sizes. Okay, so that we will discuss tomorrow in detail what is a Bootstrap grid system. So we will try to finish the grid system tomorrow, and let us see how far it will complete. So see you tomorrow at same time. Please make yourself comfortable and join the class.